Tell me, and I forget. Teach me, and I remember. Involve me, and I learn.
My main job at the Air Force Academy is to graduate leaders of character. That is my #1 job. My medium is the pool. My medium is the fact that I'm a coach and I'm going to make them faster in the pool, but I'm using my sport to create the next leaders in the Air Force. And by doing this kind of experience with them and this unique experience at the Academy, this is something when they go out into the big Air Force, the big Space Force, no one but their fellow teammates will ever have had this experience.
The experience Coach Murphy is talking about is a recent 2-week trip to Europe. No, not a vacation, but a growing, giving, information-gathering whirlwind that consisted of hosting a swim camp on an Air Force base, practicing as a team, and visiting historical and current military sites each evening, all while bunking with each other in common barracks, every second being orchestrated not by coaches, but teammates.
In the cultural immersion trips and having us doing team events versus going, go play out in the city, go have fun, it helped us have more team bonding.
As a rising junior, this is like my first experience of leadership at the academy, and for me, I was able to test like the philosophies that I kind of had for like how I evaluated myself as a leader. And like for me, like my big thing is like I need to be able to support the people who are under me so that they have like the confidence they need to do their jobs. And like the position I had was like really perfect for that, because I just get to talk with like Kara and Ella and be like, look, like what do you need from me so that you guys can like make the best product that you can so we can give it to like these campers and these families on Ramstein. And then same for Darian and Alana, like really just a lot of check-in and like support, and like if things like snags happened like along the road, like I would step in and be able to like support them so that they could like work through whatever they had to do. So it was like definitely super unique, because it was also like really intense like peer-to-peer leadership, because like these are my teammates. So like there's just, I don't know, it's like such like a different relationship that you have with them like as peers because they're your teammates.
Every member of the women's swim team played a part in a pseudo-military structure from top down, planning, implementing, and working to make each moment of the trip a success. 2 hours each day were spent teaching young swimmers tools of the trade. Not simple when you realize it was kids aged from 8 to 18.
I told the girls, I said, these kids, we can make a difference in these 8 days because we're giving them extremely individual feedback and a ton of help. There's a lot you can do in 2 hours when you're focusing on technical work. And so that was kind of our focus, was getting these girls comfortable, making those corrections, and trying to figure out ways that connected with the kids and how they could relate the information.
Like any subject, the way you can learn something better is if you can teach it. It's just because the way that you process, the way your brain processes some things, you know, if you say something, that's going through a different part of your brain than if you actually do it or if you think it. So if you hit all three, which by saying it, we actually miss a lot because, you know, we're usually the ones getting told what to do. So we're able to round out our skills a little more. And I actually noticed in the water, like I was improving so much faster than if we weren't doing that.
We had girls then in practice being like, hey, we told the kids to push off the wall correctly. Because especially when you get older and when you become more in that elite stage, the little things, you're like, okay, when it comes down to the wire, I'm gonna remember to do it. But in reality, that's not the truth. How you practice when you're honestly at your most tired and you're at your weakest, that's what's gonna come through in competition.
Along with improving their own skills in the water, this team was generally improving the lives of plenty of kids on Ramstein Air Force Base, which did not go unnoticed by their current leader, Air Force Academy Athletic Hall of Famer, General Otis Jones.
General Jones, along with all the parents on the base, were so thankful to us for what we were doing, and we had many comments from parents saying, like, our kids come home and they're excited about swimming. So I know that General Jones was excited to have us there. His wife even came and talked to us as well. And so that was awesome to see that our impact on that community was being seen throughout the base.
That was just two parts of the trip. Once swim camp and practice were done, day trips took the ladies to a myriad of places, including the German Military Leadership Center in Koblenz.
And it was very enlightening just to discover what was different between our training and their training and what was similar. And they were so excited to have us there because they just loved the fact that another military from a different country was so interested in how they taught their ethical leadership. And it was great having so much enthusiasm from these German officers and these German enlisted members.
Another day trip was a sobering experience, a private tour of the first German concentration camp at Dachau.
It was torrential rainpour the day that we did this tour, and even our tour guide, she's like, I do not want to hear you complain. She's like, you guys have no right to complain coming to this concentration camp because nothing that you are experiencing right now will ever compare to what they had to go through. And hearing that, I was like, the things that we complain about today versus like what they had to go through at this camp, it's and like the living conditions and seeing everything that they had to go through.
I mean, obviously we don't know like what the future fight is that we're going to walk into and like what's down the line, and like you can't really compare it to stuff in the past because it is like so unknown. But like there was definitely like very proud moment to be like, yes, like we like being part of like the long blue line and like in the military, like there's a lot of history there that we're proud of, and to like see kind of like the good impact that like the military has on the world is like, it was really like a special moment, definitely for me.
The entire trip was full of special moments for this entire team. And keep in mind, these athletes coordinated and implemented every aspect of each day, all while eating, working, sleeping, and doing everything together.
When we were on Ramstein, we were staying in the dorms, and it was like a room with 50 bunk beds. So like the 25 of us, or however many of us were in there, we're all just like sleeping on bunks next to each other. So like obviously like living close to each other like that creates like a lot of team bonding.
It was so heartwarming just seeing all of these girls just love what they do and love being a part of the swim team, especially at the Air Force Academy, and having the opportunity to even go do this.
Just having that cohesiveness and having respect for one another because you get to know who you are and where you came from. That is a really big part of respect, cohesion, and wanting to be there for one another, which is really awesome to like see us grow.
You want to work harder when like you're closer to your teammates because you want to push them to be better. So I think we definitely are in a good position starting our season.
That leadership aspect of this trip was really, really important, and I think it will make us really strong as a team because now they have that ability to understand each other better. They were put in a situation where it wasn't easy, right? It was 2 weeks of like figure it out, and I think that's really important.